Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel today. My name is Christian and today we're here to talk about the new record from Weezer. It is titled Pacific Daydream. This is the band's 11th studio record and it is the follow-up to their brilliant record that came out last year, the White Album. An album that was in my top 20, I'm pretty sure in my top 10, maybe even in my top 5. I love that record, and going into this record I didn't really know what to expect because we had two singles that were both very drastically different in the songs Feels Like Summer and Mexican Fender, sorry. I think Mexican Fender kicks off right where the White Album left off and is one absolutely brilliant track, while I think Feels Like Summer is quite a big miss for Weezer. While I think the chorus is really massive, overall I really dislike that song. So going into the record, I was hoping it would be more Mexican Fender than it would be Feels Like Summer, and unfortunately it's all like Feels Like Summer. Mexican Fender is the real outlier on this record, which is a real shame. Unfortunately, all the great progress that Weezer made on the White Album, coming back to their roots and delivering great music, it was a one-time thing, it seems, because it was their best record in 15 years and now they've just gone straight back to making subpar music again, and that's a real shame. And unfortunately on this record they seem to have abandoned all the alt rock that makes Weezer who they are and instead gone full pop with their sound. There's not even a whole lot of guitar throughout this record other than a few twangy licks here and there, and something that I'm not in love with about the songwriting on this record is that a lot of the verses throughout the entire record feel very throwaway, and it feels sometimes like the choruses are the only part of the song that are meant to be memorable or you're meant to actually be interested in. A lot of the verses just seem like they're just there because they have to be there so that the chorus can be there, and that's something that isn't a normal thing for Weezer, and unfortunately they do it on this record. However, there are some really good hooks on this record. As I've already stated, Feels Like Summer has a great chorus. Mexican Fender's hook of She Loves Me, She Loves Me, She Loves Me Not is absolutely brilliant. And also I really love the chorus of Happy Hour with that "and sad days" bit there. It sounds absolutely fantastic, and I just love how the harmonies work together in that moment. But the standout track, as I've said earlier on in this review, is Mexican Fender. It could have contended with some of the songs on the White Album for the best song Weezer have released in 15 years. It's absolutely brilliant. I love the guitar work on it, but the real heart to this track is really in the melody and in the vocal performance from Rivers Cuomo, who delivers a fantastic performance. It's a brilliant song. Easily the best track on this record by a long way. I just wish there'd been more of that kind of style on this record. Something I will say about Rivers' voice on this record is it sounds very plain and doesn't have a lot of emotion in there, and I feel like that is down to the production. It's very overproduced, and so Rivers' vocals have been tuned in such a way that any emotion that is usually there in his voice is gone, and that sucks, because something that I love so much about the White Album is that they just let Rivers' voice lay bare. He'd miss notes, he wouldn't sing perfectly all the time, but it gave so much character to the songs and to the vocal melodies, and on this record that just disappears completely. His wavering voice is something I love, and that's because it's real. Most of the drumming is also drowned out by samples throughout this record. A lot of the time you couldn't even tell that there's a real drummer in this band. It feels like it's just some guy playing samples all the way through, and that's a real shame. And the record doesn't really flow at all. I will say that I think the second half of this record is stronger than the first half, even though Mexican Fender opens up the record. I feel like a lot of the songs like Happy Hour and sorry, I'm gonna bring up my notes here. Songs like Beach Boys, songs like Happy Hour, as I said, and songs like Weekend Woman, I don't think work for me at all, other than that chorus in Happy Hour, which I think is absolutely fantastic. But flowing from song to song, I shouldn't say the record doesn't flow at all. I should say it flows a little too well because all the songs start to blend together and sound the exact same. And for a record that is 35 minutes long, this record actually drags quite a bit. So that's something that you don't want, especially from a Weezer album, which is something that doesn't usually happen. Another one of the highlights on this record for me is definitely Sweet Mary. I think this song is absolutely fantastic. I think, once again, the chorus is absolutely great. I love the softer tone to the track. I love how the electronics are just mixed in here and there rather than being the dominant feature of the track. And again, River's performance on the track is fantastic. They let a little bit of that emotion come through again, which is, I think, one of the reasons I love this track so much. But having said that, there are some truly, truly awful tracks on this record. Beach Boys would be the highlight of bad tracks on this record for me. It is so drawn out, the chorus is so forgettable, and it just doesn't suit Weezer's sound. I know that Weezer love the Beach Boys. It's been in their sound since the beginning, but on this record they go full Beach Boys and took out all the rock elements, and the song Beach Boys is a true example of why that just does not work. Happy Hour is another song that I don't really like at all other than the chorus. It's one of those songs that I think has verses that are just there because they have to be there to build to the chorus. The song really as a whole feels like it's Rivers featuring on a generic pop song, and then that chorus comes in. So just a waste of time really for me. And with a record like this that sounds this way in 2017, it gets me really nervous that we may see Weezer go in the same direction as a band like Fall Out Boy, going full electronic and deserting the things that made them so special in the first place. I really, really hope that doesn't happen, but overall, I think this record is a real step down from the White Album. While it still may be one of the better Weezer records of the past 10 years or so, compared to the White Album, which is the only thing you can really compare it to, it's pathetic. It really, really is. I would have much preferred that Weezer toured the White Album for 2.5 years, and then really put a lot of time and effort into the new songs so that they sounded fantastic. And unfortunately on this record, they just dropped the ball. And my top 3 tracks are going to be Mexican Fender, Sweet Mary, and I'm going to put Happy Hour in there as well, just because of that fantastic chorus. Anyway, what did you guys think about the record? Let me know your thoughts and opinions down below in the comment section. Did you like the record? Did you not like the record? Let me know down below. We're here to have a conversation about music, so let's do that. But if you're just going to fill up the comment section with hate and insults, just know I'm going to read your comments and laugh at how pathetic your life is. Anyway, thanks for watching my video today, guys. Please hit subscribe down below, and I will see you next time. Fresh Currents.